One question I see asked a lot is non-binary a thing?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and those who identify as a Hot Pocket. Today we are going to take on a video by Marina Shut Up about non-binary and is it a thing? Short answer, no.
I've been seeing a lot of debates by usually cisgender people about whether or not non-binary people are real and valid.
No one is debating whether or not non-binary people exist. At least that there are people out there that think they're non-binary. What we're debating is whether or not there's actual scientific evidence behind the non-binary idea, and if people should be criminalized for referring to non-binary people with binary pronouns. So, since Marina doesn't really explain in her video what non-binary means, I will briefly go over it now. Google defines non-binary as denoting or relating to a gender or sexual identity that is not defined in terms of traditional binary oppositions such as male and female or homosexual and heterosexual. So that's a basic understanding, but let's dive in a little further. The Gender Wiki goes over the different types of non-binary peoples. First, they have androgynous or people with both feminine and masculine traits. So pretty much everyone, because no one is purely masculine or purely feminine. The second on there is intergender, or somebody who identifies as something in between male and female. The third is neutral or unrecognized gender, which I don't really know what that means. Fourth is multiple genders, which logically doesn't make sense even if there are more than two genders. Being more than one at the same time can't happen. Fifth, and my personal favorite, is gender fluid. So pretty much you can be whatever gender whenever you want. I kid you not, there are people out there who think their gender changes hourly. Sixth is demigender, or having a partial connection to any certain gender. Seventh isn't even related to gender, and that is intersex. If we're going to go around and say gender is separate from biological sex and that gender is a social construct, then intersex isn't a gender. Intersex is something that social justice warriors attempt to use as proof there is more than two sexes, which is just not true. Intersex people exist. There are either people born with parts of both male and female genitalia, or people born without the typical XX or XY chromosomes. This is a medical condition, not a third sex. And most often than not, these people cannot reproduce. So biologically, they cannot be another sex because they don't fit the basic biological necessities of life. Finally, the eighth, I know, right? 8? Is having a culturally specific gender which only applies to your culture. So now that we have that out of the way, let's move on. Please, Marina, continue.
First off, why are you debating other people's identity instead of talking to them, listening to their perspectives, trying to understand where they're coming from?
Marina, we do try to talk with them. Really, I don't know anyone that I follow that wouldn't enjoy sitting down with a non-binary person and having a discussion on each other's identities and how we see the world. The problem is, the non-binary people would rather sit back with fingers in their ears and yell at us, calling us transphobes and racists. As far as listening goes, I have listened, and I have not heard an argument or been given the research that will change my mind on how I see the world. Provide me with more proof than my feels, and I will happily change my mind.
But instead I keep seeing people who are not non-binary arguing that being non-binary isn't a real thing. And I'm just like, why are you so obsessed with policing other people's gender? It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't affect your everyday life.
How freaking golden is this right here? A social justice warrior who wants to police our speech and tell us that we have to use these certain pronouns or be jailed. You know, like in Canada with that Bill C-16 crap? Yeah, that's non-binary peoples trying to police our speech. But no, we're trying to police their gender. That's what's happening. We're trying to police them. This isn't true. No one wants to police anyone's gender. We're just tired of hearing about it. Identify as who you want to identify as, and we don't care. I don't believe it, but I don't have to believe it, and you don't have to force me to believe it.
Why do you care so much about disproving an aspect of someone's identity? Who fucking cares? It's none of your business. And I don't mean to say that you shouldn't care about people's gender and you shouldn't respect their gender, because you absolutely should.
So don't care, right? Or do care about gender, or don't care? Don't care. Wait, Marina, I'm confused, but I'll just tell you how I think. I don't care about any certain person's gender identity. You could identify as a toaster strudel for all I really care. I don't. But what I do care about is protecting freedom. And the Bill C-16 in Canada is against freedom of speech and against freedom of expression. And that is where my argument goes. That is where I jump into this debate. I don't care how you identify, but don't try and force me to speak a certain way because of how you identify. That is wrong.
Something about the way that non-binary and trans conversations are framed in certain spheres of YouTube and on Twitter, and just general conversations I've seen, it really reminds me of 2008 when Prop 8 was a thing and it passed. And conservative commentators on Fox News and the internet and all over the place were having these debates about whether or not being gay was a sin.
You certainly remember Prop 8 a lot differently than I do. I remember religious peoples debating on the topic of sin, but never news networks or government entities. This wasn't something that was a religious proposition. It was a legal proposition, something where religion has no say. And it won for a time, and then it lost.
So if you're someone who in 2017 is debating about the existence of non-binary people, you definitely remind me of 2008 conservatives who were arguing about whether or not being gay was a sin.
Man, those conservatives are just the devils, aren't they? They're just evil people and they're out to get you. Marina, I don't care what you think about my side in this debate. To me, this debate is about freedom. To me, this debate is about my freedom to express myself and your freedom to express yourself. And those non-binary peoples can express themselves however they like. But what I care about is not being told how to express myself based on those people and their feelings. How they feel and how they identify should have no effect on how I express myself in my life. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to end this video. Marina continues to go on and prop up some of her SJW non-binary friends like Riley J. Dennis. I encourage everyone to go to Marina's channel and check out the original video in its entirety just to make sure I didn't misrepresent her or her ideas. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. If you like the content I make on this channel, please consider subscribing and select that bell icon next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time that I upload. If you want to add to the conversation, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm the Educationer, and have a great day.